Hi, I'm Rich the Ridge Hunter. Welcome to Around the Cabin. And today we're going to talk about defending your life with your EDC knife. That's right. Defending your life with your small EDC knife. This is Knife Fighting Basics 101. Your back's against the wall and you got to survive this situation. That's what this scenario is all about. Not about getting out there and getting your big kukri or your machete or your broadsword or whatever out and fighting and hacking it out with 5 or 10 guys. This is about you, another guy maybe in a bar, a beer bottle fight, something like that, and all you have is your EDC knife. Maybe somebody went wacko at work, and he's got a letter opener, and he's standing there going at you. All you've got, you pull out your EDC, and you're thinking, are you going to cut me? I'm going to cut you. Okay? Hopefully, I'll get you before you get me. That's what this is all about. So, back's against the wall, and all we've got is our little EDC pocket knife. And we're going to save ourselves with this. Now, before we get to the knife part, let's talk about our wrist. Okay? Our wrists are an important part. In this fight, our wrists are going to play a major role. Yes, there's some footwork. Yes, there's some upper body work. But our wrists and our arms, especially our wrists, are going to play a major role. Why? Well, let's look at it this way. So you guys can see it better, I'm going to use this little bit bigger knife, and I'm going to leave the sheath on there because I don't want to be cut. So, if you have a stiff wrist, meaning your wrist does not pivot, you won't cut anybody. Okay? You'll be scraping them with your knuckles, and you might get them with the front of the blade if they get really up close, but if they stand back an inch, you'll never touch them. So your wrist needs to be loose so that you can reach out and get that wrist out there, getting the blade out there so you can cut with it, so you can stab with it, so you can jab with it. Now let's talk about the proper hold. This is the only hold in this fight, okay? I don't want to hear about, I hold it backhand like this and I can hook and I can bring it in and I can defend and I can... This is down and dirty 101, last ditch effort. You've never had a course, no armed combat in your life, and all you're going to learn is from me this one time. I want to make sure you get it right. So, here it is. The blade is right here on the knife, okay? The blade with the point. Now, with a sharp edge coming at you. I want to see that sharp edge lined up perfectly with these knuckles, your second knuckles. You got your first knuckles over here where you're holding everything. Your second knuckles lined up with the blade edge, all right? Not like this, not like this. I want your knuckles lined up with the blade edge. That's the only hold in this knife fight you're going to have to worry about, all right? Knuckles, blade edge, one big line. Thumb down. Not up here on the back on the jimp. But Rich, it's got jimping and it's meant to be a hoe. No. Thumb down. Why? First off, you got your knuckles here and the blade, and it makes one straight continuous out from your hand. And when you hold your hand and you bend your wrist, okay, physically it comes straight up and down this way with these knuckles, and you will see that it actually works perfectly well if you do this. If you sit there and do the tomahawk chop, you'll see that every time you come down, that blade is straight up and down pointing. That's why we hold this way. Why the thumb, Rich? Why not the thumb up here? There are so many tendons in this thumb and so many nerves in this thumb. If you leave that thumb up there and he whacks that thumb, you're going to drop that knife in a heartbeat. You keep that thumb down and he hits this fleshy part of your hand, not going to be as bad as that thumb. You have opposable thumbs for a reason, so you can pick things up. You don't want to lose one. Keep that thumb down, okay? You'll thank me if this ever happens that you had your thumb down. They actually teach in some classes, if he's got his thumb up there on that knife and he gets that knife out there, if you can take that thumb, bah, I'm going to take that thumb. You're going to drop that knife and you're mine, because then you're unarmed, okay? They actually teach that in some classes. Now, I'm no master, okay? I don't hold no master in knife fighting. I'm telling you, down and dirty. Things I've learned over the years. 47 years old. I've been doing this for a while. So now, thumb down, knuckles straight up and down on the blade. You'll thank me later. Trust me. Alright. Now that we've established that hold, that's the only hold we're going to do in this down and dirty basics EDC life-saving thing. We're not going to get fancy. We're not going to get anything else. That's the only hold you're going to have. Okay? So, second knuckles, straight up and down with the blade. Bring the knife into the hand. Don't put it in the hand and then try and clamp over this way. Second knuckles, bring it to the hand, put the thumb down. Hopefully you've got a locked back knife or a straight blade. You really don't want to do this with a knife that can close on your hand. Okay? Now, remember, wrist loose. Why? Because you're going to be reaching out and touching. Alright, now, this is not the ideal fighting knife. There is no such thing as an ideal fighting knife. There's some that are better than others. This is not a great one. But this is, I'm after work, I'm hanging out with the guys, this dude goes crazy, he pulls out a beer bottle, wah! He comes at me, I'm back up against the wall, the only thing I do is whip this knife out and go, back off, Jack! Okay? And then my buddies smack him with a chair. I'm good. I can put my knife away, they call the police, thank God I'm safe. Hopefully that's how this goes. The number one rule of a knife fight, I want you all to remember this. The number one rule of a knife fight, never get in one. Okay? If you can follow that rule, we're good to go. Alright, well, on the second part of this, I'm going to come back and tell you how we're going to handle this fight. Okay? So, the scenario is, we've got our EDC, we're out with our friends, we've got our pocket knife in, we're at the bar, we're out at a social with our friends, we're having a few drinks and grilling out with the neighbors, and one of the other neighbors goes ape. And we have to defend ourselves, backed up against the wall, and all we have is our little EDC. We'll take care of that when we come back.